ahead, but first, the I-Team has uncovered new information on the Cincinnati school employing the superintendent's family.
9 News Chief Investigator Brendan Keefe is here now with word of more tax money going to more family members. Brendan?
Carol and Tanya, our investigation began with one of Ohio's largest charter schools choosing an employee's company for a $250,000 contract. Now we've discovered the superintendent was on the school board when the school hired her husband's company. And the connections between employees at the school now span 3 generations of the superintendent's family. The superintendent, her husband, her daughter, and now we've learned her grandson's father, all employed by this charter school and paid with tax dollars.
You're going to do things for your family, and when you're talking about the public interest and public money, we need to have some distance there so that the blood connection doesn't make for bad business decisions.
As the I-Team reported more than a week ago, VLT Academy picked the highest bidder for one of its biggest contracts. A company owned by Clyde Lee, already an employee of the school, bid $250,000 for the cleaning contract. The lower bids were $136,000, $128,000, and $82,800. Up to $167,000 in tax savings could have gone to teaching kids. Now we've discovered the school declared in its 2006 financial statement the company was, quote, co-owned by school superintendent Valerie Lee and her husband. Though she abstained from voting, the superintendent was also a school board member at the time. This kind of deal wasn't just practice at VLT Academy, it was policy, written right here in the Articles of Incorporation filed by founder Valerie Lee. A board member or school official may be a vendor, a purchaser, or employee, and no transaction shall be voidable or invalidated by reason of any relationship, even if the official gains or profits.
We don't see this because it's contrary to law, and it buys you a date with the Ethics Commission and maybe a county prosecutor.
But not always. The founder of A.B. Myrie Academy in Bond Hill was also the school superintendent. Her husband served on the board, and the school paid his janitorial company to clean the building. The principal during this time, Valerie Dukes, now known as Valerie Lee. A.B. Myrie was never investigated for multiple business dealings with the superintendent's family. Auditors were told of all of them, but took no issue. That charter school eventually closed after a battle with the founder's husband over money his companies were owed. Valerie Lee had already gone on to start VLT Academy, where she served on the board that hired her husband and her daughter. Ecole Harris makes $99,000 a year as data director.
Because she is the daughter of the superintendent.
Worried about her career, this former teacher didn't want us to show her face. She and other current and former employees of VLT Academy contacted the I-Team immediately to question the school's claim that Ecole Harris doesn't report to her mother.
She reports to Mrs. Lee like everybody does.
The school says Clyde Lee doesn't report to Valerie Lee, but the building manager's personnel file includes written reprimands signed by his own wife. In 2010, she suspended him for 2 days after he broke up a fight between students. You cannot put your hands on any child in this building, she wrote.
It's very, very clear that she is the superintendent and that if ever there is a disciplinary issue, she is the one who is involved with it.
VLT Academy says all employees and contracts are approved by the school board. But who hires the school board? Unlike most public schools, the boards of charter schools are not elected by the people. The first board is appointed by the founder, in this case, Superintendent Valerie Lee. We directly asked the school board president how she was selected. The school's attorney responded, "We have no obligation to assist you in your research," end quote. As for ownership of the janitorial company, despite what the school reported to auditors for 2006, VLT's lawyer insists Valerie Lee has never had a business interest, ownership interest in Seed. Clyde Lee and his company both took pay cuts to save the jobs of others. He's now paid $65,000 a year and his company $323,000 per year. That's lower now. The family declined our interview request. Tanya?
Brendan, this is an amazing story, almost unbelievable. In fact, where is the oversight for these folks?
Well, unlike a regular school, charter schools are different. They don't answer to the state school board or the Ohio Department of Education. Instead, a sponsor serves as a middleman, a middle person with limited powers. Ultimately, the school gets $7.4 million in tax money every year based on student enrollment. If the kids show up, they get paid. This case is now in the hands of the Ohio Ethics Commission, and of course the I-Team will stay on it.
I hope so. Great job. Thanks.